All in all, it was an interesting offseason here in Hyen. I'm still kind of on cloud nine now that I know I'm finally getting a new stadium. Granted, it's 3 years down the road, but it's a new stadium. We had a few people leave. We had more than a few people arrive. We broke our transfer spending record, but when you consider our transfer spending record on one player was, 14.5 million euros? That's kind of a given, especially when you have 119 million euros to work with in the first place, and about, 900,000 euros on the wage cap to work with as well. So, a lot of players coming and going. Oh, and Helio's back. My name's FM20. It's time to get real. Now, when I say Helio's back, I mean Helio's back in Spain. Barcelona bought him for 119 million euros. He had two underwhelming seasons at Schalke. I mean, the best he did was 12 goals in 26 games, but that was still enough for Barcelona to turn around and buy him for 119 million euros. And then they turned around again and they loaned him out to Sevilla, who are in La Liga. So, well, either way, we are going to be seeing Helio again. We got the Champions League draw today, but first, we are going to look at the transfers. Release players-wise, we just had two. Jasper Schindelar, we let go. He was our backup keeper. He started a couple of games, but that was about it, which frankly is all I expect from my backup keeper. And then Andre Jesus Gutierrez was a youth player who just never really panned out. I don't know that Schindelar got picked up. No, he's a go-ahead Eagles. Okay, good for him. On the free transfers, we had one free transfer in, and this is a coup. Barry Verdonk is a striker, but I'm going to be playing him mostly at striker, but also at advanced midfielder on the left. 4-star current ability, 4-star potential ability, 23 years old, Dutch international, solid physically. Mentally, it's a little low in a couple of places, but I love the 17 off the ball. He's solid everywhere else. Technically, 14 dribbling, 16 finishing, 14 first touch, 13 crossing. He's really strong on the left foot, reasonable on the right foot. Decent penalty kick taker, nice determination. For whatever reason, he was playing at ADO Den Haag, who are in the area division, and he did not want to resign with anybody. So when his contract came up, I said, hey, come to Spain. The weather's nice. We're on the southern coast, kind of, sort of. And he said, yeah, sure. And as you can see, he's had 1 goal and 1 assist in the, 2 games we've played so far. One of the better advanced midfielders, or one of the better strikers in the game. But because I have quality strikers already, he'll come in as part of the rotation, but more often than not, he'll be playing it on the left. And frankly, he may not even stay here the whole season. It depends on what happens. He's rated at 63 million euros right now. We got him on a free. Usually, I'm not that lucky. What's his name? Iliax Moriba was available for 35 million euros, but I already have a ton of midfielders, and as much as I like him, I couldn't just pull the trigger on it. So we had a few players go out on loan. The big names are probably, Ajay went out on loan again. Victor Okoro, who is my young midfielder as well, with a lot of potential, he went out on loan again. And then Pizzioni went out on loan again. He's at Sevilla with Helio, of all places. And this is his last year with us. I wanted to get him first team playing time. I tried offering him out. There were no takers, so I sent him out on loan. Cash and clause transfers. We sold 57 million euros worth of players. We bought 92 million euros worth of players. So we are going to look at these in the order of how much money I paid for them. Santiago Nunez was the backup keeper for the Atletico B team. And I need a backup keeper. And he comes in on a backup contract. He knows he's a backup. He's happy to be a backup here. He's a star and a half current ability, 2.5 star potential ability. That's when you consider the keepers I have on my team. He's almost as good as Seferovic, but not quite. So I'm more than happy he's on the bench. He'll get a couple starts, probably like in the lower league Copa del Rey matches, and things like that, unless he absolutely falls on his face, he should be okay for us. There were other goalkeeper options out there, but A, they were all over 30 years old, and B, they all wanted an excess of 150,000 euros. And I'm sorry, I'm not paying a guy 150,000 euros to sit on the bench. Seydou Diallo comes to us from Sevilla Atletico for 500,000 euros. He's another one of those players. He's mostly a defensive center back, but he's really good at the left back and right back as well. Can also play a few other positions if I really need him to. He's just one of those guys you stick on your bench. He won't get a lot of starts, but he will come off the bench and get some appearances there. Solid physically, solid mentally. Technically, he's okay. The 9 tackling is a little bit of a bummer for me, especially considering this level of football. But then again, he's here on an emergency backup contract. Dennis Thorpe from FC Nordsjælland, and he is one of the youth players that I brought in last year on trial that I really, really liked. But Nordsjælland didn't want to sell him to me at the time, so I just put him on my short list. And when he popped up as, hey, we're moving, or hey, there's a bid for him, I put a bid in, and he decided to come to us instead. 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. He's a defensive midfielder, defensive center back. I'm probably going to be retraining him as a defensive center back. It depends on what happens with my midfielders in the center here. I like playing a ball-winning midfielder there, and seeing as how he's already a good ball-winning midfielder at the defensive midfielder position, I could possibly retrain him up there as well. But right now, he's a quality defensive center back as well. Physically, he's okay. The 10 pace is a little concerning, as is a 10 acceleration, but considering he mostly sits near the back line, that's not unexpected. I mean, Malo's not much faster, but Malo's also a lot more well-rounded physically. Mentally, he's fairly solid. You know, the 16 teamwork's nice, the 17 aggression's nice. Everything else is okay. Technically, okay. 12 dribbling, 14 heading, 12 marking, 16 tackling is nice. Everything else is solid. You know, the finishing and crossing, they're low, but, you know, again, defensive midfielder. Daniel Pagano. I needed a defensive left back. Bayern Munich had Pagano out there, and I got him for a really good price. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, 24 years old, Italian, solid physically, solid mentally, really good mentally. The 9 vision's a little low, as is the 10 flare, but I think I can get those up a couple more points. Technically, he's not too bad. 12 crossing, 13 first touch, 16 heading. He's 5'10", 165 pounds. The 10 jumping reach is nice as well. Penalty taking. I mean, when you're talking about penalty taking and free kick taking, okay, big deal. But comes in as the starting defensive left back. I think he was 24 million euros. Yeah, 24.5 million euros straight up. And then last but not least, this is the big money of the year so far. Ahmed Uche from Bordeaux. 65 million euros going to 75 million euros based on international appearances. Defensive center back. 4-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, 21 years old, 6'4", 187 pounds. Physically, almost a beast. Mentally, 20 composure, 18 decision making, 16 positioning, 16 work rate, 12 aggression. 10 brave is a little bit on the low side, but we can train him in some aerials and actually get him up there. He actually hurt his leg, I want to say. Yeah, he's out with a hamstring injury. Technically, he's solid where it counts. 12 first touch, 12 heading, 13 marking, 15 tackling. Comes in and takes over one of the defensive center back spots next to Joubert. He is young, he's making good money for us, and he should be here a fairly long time. On the outs, Ronnie Harold. And I'm really kind of miffed at this. Not because I let him go, but because for whatever reason, he was valued at 215,000 euros. And he's a good midfielder. Now, he's 2.5-star current ability, 2.5-star potential ability, but that's on my squad. On a lesser squad, such as Uerdingen, which I want to say is... yeah, they're a 2 Bundesliga team. He's definitely better than that. Now, he's grading out as a 49, but that's what my scouts grade him out as. When you consider he was behind Sutter, and they're also comparing him to Smilkovic, you can kind of see that. I thought I'd be able to get 750,000 for him, or at least 500,000. The best offer I got was like 150,000. I was able to tweak that up to 215. So we lost money on him. He was part of that first youth movement we brought in. We paid 750,000 euros from Dynamo Dresden. Could be maybe he just didn't develop all the way. Could be my scouts at the time were wrong. I want to say he was a 4-star potential player when we brought him on. He had some okay seasons for us. I mean, 5 goals and 3 assists in 15 games. You know, he was a quality contributor. I just, with Sutter there now and a couple other players, I've got some youngsters starting that I'm going to get some starts this year. He was just kind of the odd man out, and I didn't want to sit him on the bench. I didn't want to loan him, and, you know, he was never going to get better than probably 3.5 stars, but he was also getting up there in age as well. He's 21 years old, so maybe getting at 3.5 stars was going to be difficult, so I let him go. You know, we lost a little money on him, but that's what happens sometimes when you take a risk on some of these youngsters. Milos Sirac, I got tired of it. He was just all over the place. This is the other thing that's annoying. He was valued at, I want to say, 2 point whatever, and the best I could get for him was 1 point something. Let me go back to the screen real quick. Yeah, 1.4. He went to Deportivo. And frankly, I'm okay with that because if we're seeing him, we know how to take advantage of him. So he's our starting defensive left back. I mean, he's still a solid left back. I just, from the moment I picked him up, and I had the whole issue with, we need to get a friend in or something like that. Player has a future transfer arranged. Where is he going? Would a Deportivo turn that might be a bug? A Deportivo turn around and sell him? I'm not seeing anything up here. So, unless it's for next year, he's going back to Croatia. But the economics of the transfer windows is just, it's really starting to bug me, and I don't know why. So, I mean, yeah, he's valued at $3.5 million, but you know, for a guy who loves big games, physically he's okay, mentally he's solid where it counts, technically he's solid where it counts. You should be able to get at least that. He was valued at about that much when he was here, and the fact that I can only get half that is highly annoying. So there's probably a lot of confirmation bias going on there. Robert Buies came to me, wanted more playing time. I said, well, I don't know that it's going to happen. You were here on a backup contract as it is. He wanted an important player contract, and I told him no, and he pitched a fit, so I let him go. Now, this was one of those odd things where he got a few starts for us. We paid 7.75 million euros for him. We turned around. The best offer we got was Bournemouth, and I don't believe we're paying any of his salary. We're not. I know a lot of offers I got for him were, well, we want you to pay at least half his salary. And I wasn't having that. You know, he's physically gifted. Mentally, he's solid. Technically, he's solid. He just never cracked the starting lineup here. You know, I got him some games, and he was okay. Nothing exceptional. At the time, I thought he was a good value because he could play the advanced midfielder left, the advanced midfielder right, and fill in as a striker. But that was before Sutter absolutely went off the chains and had the season he had. So, I mean, he had 4 starts for us, 1 assist, a 6.68 rating. Not the best. I'm just mad I didn't get the same money for him that I bought him for. And then Pedro Smilkovic came to me and essentially wanted a new contract. And I was like, he wanted to be an important player. And I was like, I can make you a regular starter. You'll get plenty of playing time, probably off the bench, but he didn't want that. And with the contract negotiations broke down, he wanted like 120,000 euros. I like Pedro. He's been great for us, but he's not 120,000 euros great. I mean, he's 26 years old. He's 3-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. Physically, still really good. Mentally, still really good. Technically, really good where it counts. 14 dribbling, 16 first touch, 13 technique. Zenit picked him up. That's the same Zenit that Bakary Jado went to. In 6 games, he's had 3 goals, 1 assist. So the former Croatian sensation for Hayan has picked up where he left off. Now, he got injured after this season, and he got injured this season too. And he just, you know, I brought in a couple other players, and like Sutter is a prime example. Sutter absolutely went off. But then again, I brought Smilkovic in to be a backup, and when Andrich got injured, he absolutely went off that season. So it happens. He was a solid contributor for us. We got him on a free. We turned around and got 7.5 million euros for him. So that kind of balances out what we lost on some of these other players. Not a lot, but some. And then Ale, who came in on a backup contract and was absolutely mad. He was on the bench more often than not. I finally got tired of it. He complained. He got 9 starts last year. He had an assist. And I said, I'm done. And I put him out there, and Cortiba in Serie A picked him up for $8.5 million. So we made money on him as well. And then Valencia, the transfer window closes in a couple of days. So a week ago, Barnabashvili got an offer from Valencia, and I turned it down. And he got upset. But on the thing, this is the other thing I'm noticing. So you'll have players who are listed by request for transfer, and you go to their club and you make an inquiry, and the club comes back and says, this player's not for sale at any price. But you have him transfer listed at his request. And then so you go to the whole, well, he's valued at 24 million, so I'll make an offer for 18 million, and the club counters with 76 million. And it's like, no. So, and that's kind of what happened here. Valencia came in, made an offer for him. His thing said, his agent thing up in the corner said, he has no interest in talking on the team. So I clicked reject. What am I going to, what's the problem with doing that? Next day, he wants to talk to me. How come you didn't let me go to Valencia? Because your agent said you didn't want to go to Valencia. It's a you problem. So he goes for 35 million euros straight up. Solid contributor for us. He's 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. Technically, he's really good. Physically, he's solid. He came in as a backup, ended up taking over one of the spots there. He had 3 really solid seasons for us. About the only upside is that we got a ton of money for him, seeing as how we bought him for 4.8, we turned him for 35, and this is about 13 to 15 yellow cards that someone else on the team is going to have to make up. And that is everything. We bought like I said, we bought 92 million euros worth of players. We sold 57 million euros worth of players. We still have 136 million euros left in the transfer budget, and we're getting close. We got 200,000 left on the payroll budget, but that's because I tweaked that when we got our first initial numbers in last season. So season-wise, we got off to a very nice start. We did a tour of America, had some very solid games there. They absolutely thumped Sporting KC, which I would kind of expect. Sporting KC is a good team. They're my hometown team, but against a team the quality of high-end, yeah, they got thumped. We started off against Levante, and Verdonk got the season started off with a penalty kick in the 16th minute. Antonio Augusto scored. We shut them out 2-0. Getafe, we beat 3-1. Robert Maria, hat tricks worth of goals. 6th, 23rd, and 30th minute. And so today, what's going to happen is we have the Champions League draw, and then I thought we'd play Real Madrid. So let's go to the draw here. We're in the 3rd pot, so I'm going to draw the first 2. So we got Barcelona, Man United, PSG, Milan, Manchester City, Juve, who came to me this offseason for an interview, and I kind of looked at it, and then their coach got fired. Thomas Tuchel was there, got fired after only spending 300 days there because they finished 3rd. Granted, they were like 28 points out of first place, but still, that's just, I don't need that sort of headache. AZ and Real Madrid, so we're not going to be in that group. Porto and Liverpool, Borussia Dortmund and Benfica, Inter and Chelsea, Arsenal and Bayern Munich. Okay. Leipzig goes in Group A. Schalke goes in Group B. Besiktas goes in Group C. Monaco in Group D. Ajax in Group E. Lyon in Group F. We're going to be Inter and Chelsea. Yep, we're with Inter and Chelsea. And Celtic goes to Group H. PAOK rounds up Group A. Zenit rounds out Group B. FC Copenhagen rounds out Group C. NK Osijek rounds out Group D. They're a Croatian team, aren't they? Yeah, they're a Croatian team. I wonder what they had to do to get here. Did they finish? They must have finished. Champions League third qualifying round. Best place second qualifying round. So they had to go through the qualifiers. Wow. Okay, let's check something out here real quick. It's the end of last season. Huh. Solid squad. They haven't lost a game yet. Okay. Shakhtar rounds out Group E. Lazio rounds out Group F. Red Star rounds out Group G, which means Atletico is going to Group H. Chelsea and Inter and Red Star. Chelsea's finished 4th. Any players on the squad I still recognize? Mason Mount is 31 now. Jadon Sancho is 30. What's his season been like? What's his career been like? Not too bad. He's turned into a bench player, though, unless he got injured last year, which is a possibility. I also saw they had Emanuel Vignato, who's always one of the... this year, he's one of the must-have wingers. Not too bad. I had him on my Milan save at the beginning of the year. He was pretty solid for us. And Chris Mepham, who's a solid defender, especially when he's younger. And then we have Inter. They won the league last year, I want to say. Yeah, this was last season. They won the league by... Well, they beat Juve by 31 points, and Juve ended up firing Tuchel. So, Inter's a good squad. Pavlov, Panza, Barella, we've played them before. They still got Becker in goal. Allison, I should say. Okay. And then last but not least is Red Star. Stojanovic, their key player. 3.5 star, 3.5 star. Okay. Well, we got our work cut out for us, especially if we want to advance. That means we got to trip up either Inter or Chelsea. My money's on Chelsea. So we are going to get to the Real Madrid game. If there's any transfer happenings until then, we'll take care of those before the Madrid match. So I'm going to go through, check my best 11, set the reserves. We're going to be back with our match against Real Madrid in just a bit. Barcelona spent 400 million euros, and they sold 100 million euros. They bought Helio. They bought Nigel Goodwin from Man United. He is a quality striker. Felipe Lopez comes from Arsenal. He is a midfielder on the left. Physically gifted. They bought Van Eekhout from Man City. And yeah, it's they still got Rolbeck Wegning, they still got De Jong, they got Fati, they got Aguado, they got Goodwin, Mahmoud's there. So, jeez, they're going all in this season. We had one move. We picked up Mohamed Zorlu, who is a defensive center back. I'm going to be playing him at defensive center back anyways while he's here from Bayern Munich. But his last game before he came here, he got injured, so he's out for the next couple of weeks. And frankly, I think the missing tooth is a really good look. So, he'll be playing as a ball-playing defender more often than not. 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, solid physically. Mentally, I like him. The aggression's a little bit on the low side for me, but the 17 bravery, 17 concentration more than make up for that, as does the 18 work rate. Technically, he's okay where it counts. The 13 marking is great. The 17 tackling is great. Everything else is kind of average. But, he's 18 years old. We're not paying him anything unless he's sitting on the bench. So the other thing I did want to look at was, and I went past the screen there, salary-wise, Antonio Augusto is the highest paid player on the squad. He's making 105,000 euros. And Daniel Pagano is not too far behind him. Daniel Alonso, who is wanted by he was wanted by PSG, but they never made an offer for him, was making 90,000. So, We're doing really good on the wage budget. We're doing really good on the transfer spends. I think as long as we keep getting quality young players in and let them develop, we're doing well. And that's kind of what's going on this year. William Benvenuti is going to be a starter more often than not on the defensive center back line. Israel's going to get a decent amount of playing time as well. He's now 3-star current ability. Where are they? The first player who is going to get also a decent amount of playing time is Rune Tollefsen, who plays advanced midfielder on the left. He is going to be Sutter's primary backup. 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. Physically getting better, mentally getting better. Technically, he's already decent there, and he's getting better there as well. The playing time is only going to help him. And then Amin Slimanu, who I could have swore I was sending out on loan. He's a ball-winning midfielder. He'll get some starts in the cup games and like the lower Copa del Rey matches, but more often than not, he'll be on the under 18s. 1.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability, 20 aggression, 17 determination, 17 work rate. Physically, he's not too bad. The 9 natural fitness has been on the low side, but we can definitely work on that. And then where is the other guy? Anders Broderson is going to be my primary backup at defensive left back. 1.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. Physically getting better, mentally getting better, technically getting a lot better. This was one of those cases where I thought about loaning him out, but I loaned him out last season to Hospitalet, and he was really good for them. I didn't want to loan him out again because I wanted to get him quality first-team playing time. I figure if I have him on the bench, I can bring him in, and he can get quality first-team playing time. Yeah, it's kind of a risk, but, we have to risk it. As much as I don't mind a huge transfer budget, I don't want to be Barcelona going out and buying 400 million euros of players every year. That doesn't appeal to me. So, anyone else? No, Barry Verdonk we talked about. Sutter has been absolutely fabulous to go. So we got a solid squad of starters, and our backups are solid as well. So, if anything, we're going to kind of run into the same issue we ran into last year, where we have really good players who deserve playing time, but they can't push the players who are getting that playing time out. So that's one of the reasons Smokovic left, because he wanted a guaranteed amount of playing time. It's like, I love you, but you are my third option. So I need to go back. I need to double check the training and a couple other things. So we're going to be back with the Madrid game in just a bit. In other news, Argentina beat Holland in the World Cup. And for some reason, it is not letting me go back to show the stages of how other people did. So, if I go here and I go view stage, if I go last season, oh, hey, there we go. Let's take a look. Argentina beat England on penalty kicks. Holland beat Brazil. Brazil beat Portugal. Holland beat France. England beat Spain. Any other really big surprises? No? Iran getting to the third round, maybe kind of a surprise. England totally thumped Morocco, 6-0. France beating Nigeria. Brazil beating Colombia. Really, no big surprises. Other than maybe Argentina pipping England on penalty kicks. Jose Mourinho is the England coach. Okay. Now, one of the things that happened last season when Alonso broke his leg is Malo got almost all the playing time, and he has been absolutely stellar. He's a really good facilitator of the ball. He's a decent scoring threat when he wants to score. The other thing that happened is teams started coming after Alonso. So PSG says they still want him. I suspect come the spring transfer window, it's entirely possible that he may be leaving. So I've got a bunch of quality midfielders. Now, granted, they're young, and they'll develop into better midfielders, but keeping Alonso and his salary on board when I've got better, younger options is probably not a good thing. And that is the half. Holy cow. 7 shots, 3 on target for us, 8 shots, 4 on target for Madrid. It's like the game knows I've already been recording for a decent amount of time and says, I don't want you to sit through a live comm. Hey, here we go. Highlight, Maria. Matasevic ends up with it, but he's dispossessed by Sole. Nieto ends up with it to Sole. Matasevic dispossesses him. He's got help. Maria's right there, and he rounds the keeper and puts it past him. Well done, Robert. Nice job on the defense by Matasevic. Okay, maybe Maria didn't exactly round the keeper, but it's rare for any of my strikers to do anything resembling not shooting it directly at the keeper. So that's what we're calling it. Make a couple substitutes here. I was going to get Pagano off, but both my primary backups are injured, and the under-19 player played a game already. So we're going to bring Rune Tollefson on for Sutter to get Sutter a little bit of rest. We don't want to overdo him. And then that's all we're going to take off now. We'll take a look here about 75 minutes and see what happens. Militao to Latoro to Aouar to Camavinga to Ricardo, taps up to Nieto. Morgan gets between the defenders, one-on-one with Seferovic. Nice save. Somehow manages to get to the ball and put it into the net on an almost impossible angle. Jeez. Seferovic did really good to stop the first shot, but unlucky bounces. Augusto into the crowd and over the crossbar by Joubert. Aouar, corner kick in, knocked away, but Andre runs it down. Taps off to Morgan, but he totally miskicks it. Matasevic lofts up to Maria. Nice first touch from the youngster. Takes the shot, but it goes right at Hernandez. Should be a hind corner kick. And it is. Augusto sends it in, knocked away, but Maria's going to run it down. Back to Augusto. Back into the crowd, knocked away, and somebody was fouled. Oh, Augusto was offsides. We're going to bring Alonso on for Augusto. Vargas. Oh, dispossessed by Joubert, but he gets the ball back. Joubert fouled him. Milinkovic taps up to Aouar, up into space. Andre, how is he not offsides? Pagano just bombs it away. Soleil. And the neighbors are walking their dogs because George is going nuts. And we draw. Well, Robert Maria goal was equal 10 minutes later by Johan Morgan goal. Ian? It's probably Ian. I'm reasonably sure that's Ian. 13 shots, 7 on target for us. 22 shots, 13 on target for them. They're a quality squad. Really thought we had a chance, but a draw's fine. A draw's okay. So, as early as we are into the season, I will take a draw as opposed to a loss. Barcelona, though, has already lost. They lost to Sevilla, or they drew to Sevilla. And I want to say Madrid's already lost as well. Yeah, they've lost to Zaragoza. That was the first week of the season. Zaragoza just absolutely took him by surprise. So, well, coming up next, Sevilla and Red Star. It's a chance to see Helio again, and it's a chance to play the team that we need to beat just to get European football. And then what we will do is skip. Well, we're going to play it by ear. But the next game for sure is going to be Sevilla and Red Star. We're going to play all the teams in our Champions League group stage at least once on a live comp. And it's just a matter of figuring out how that's going to work in. We're not going to do the Super Copa in January because, frankly, no one cares about that, not even the board. That's pretty much it. We got a tough group, but I like our chances of getting out to it. I want to see how far we can go this year. The goal is past the first knockout round. So, and top 4 again in La Liga. And I think we've got a really good chance. The season's off to a decent start. As long as we stay mostly injury-free, we should be okay. If you did like what you've seen and heard, please have a like. Subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticism, comments. Leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. I'm very interested in what you think of the transfer window. We actually spent a goodly amount of money this year, and it's not even over yet. My name is FM20, and thank you for watching.